A lot of you develop this mindset very early on. You develop this mindset during preteen years and teenage years where intimacy, sexual experiences, and personal experiences became something that you use to tell stories and jokes for validation.
Of course, we can't forget the body count shaming double standard. A woman's worthiness and her value decrease based on the amount of partners that she has, and that is never applicable to a man.
Where's Taylor Swift's list? Where's her meme? Where's Ariana Grande's meme? Where's Kim Kardashian's meme?
In my last video, we touched on how a Dusty jumped on the topic of Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson's breakup and decided to share his foolish advice for women. In today's video, we are touching on the subject of shame and how it has been weaponized to control women in the dating scene. In the past few days, a meme of Megan Thee Stallion surfaced on social media. In this meme, Megan was bent over in a provocative position, while the men she had dated lined up behind her, waiting to take intimate turns with her.
There's currently a meme that's going viral, and it's of Megan Thee Stallion. Whoever made it, I don't know who it was, but yeah. So it's like men lined up behind her, and they're all waiting their turn to, get behind Megan Thee Stallion, or whatever you could say. It's very disgusting and trifling that we share a world with PDFs, rapists, and people that think stuff like this is funny. And I am really disgusted with how people are talking about Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I did a post a couple days ago, people in the comment section saying, oh, this is her karma, this is her karma. And there's real things to be angry about these days. We have a whole government that's literally bending us over on a day-to-day basis. A lot of us are struggling. Probably the person that made that meme is probably struggling, can barely afford their bills. Like, there's real things going on, but people choose to attack somebody that because her love life is whatever. Like, their mother's love life was probably even worse than that. Anyways, yeah, it's just disgusting, and I don't see why people want karma for this girl. I just don't see it. Like, she's already been through so much in her life, and honestly, truly, there are just so many other things to be angry about. But I wish our world wasn't like this. I wish our men wasn't like this. And I genuinely want to know, like, what is men's problem with women, and why do they think stuff like this is funny? And I'm always going to hold men and women accountable, but I really think I'm calling for all women to stop giving these men ammo to objectify us. I think as women, we should all just start covering up. I think we should stop participating in these apps like OF and posting these provocative pictures on social media. And I know that's like a lot of us, like how we express ourselves and stuff like that, but these men are literally disgusting out here, and there's a lot of men in this world that find that picture funny. And this is really my call to action to women out here, to not give them anything else, and let's take our power back, because this is disgusting.
Hey y'all, so I wanted to get on here and talk about this Megan Thee Stallion meme that's going around, and really just what's bothering me about it. And I do not think that this is a joke. I don't think it's funny. I think it's really crazy, actually, how comfortable people are with talking about somebody else's body, their choices, their autonomy, and making it public entertainment. And this doesn't come from anywhere. A lot of you develop this mindset very early on. You develop this mindset during preteen years and teenage years where intimacy, sexual experiences, and personal experiences became something that you use to tell stories and jokes for validation. And over time, that conditioning, that teaches you that nothing is private, that nothing is sacred, and that somebody else's experiences can be used for content or can be used for jokes. And I think that that's really crazy. So now, as grown adults, because this is a lot of adults that's making jokes about this, which is just like, it's disheartening, to be honest. But as adults, when y'all see somebody living freely or making their own choices, instead of respecting it, it becomes something that y'all want to dissect, or you want to reduce it into a narrative. And what's scary about this is that what I'm seeing is how, as a culture, we've lost basic awareness. Okay? I have to reiterate this because I said it in the last video. You don't know these people. You don't know their boundaries. You don't know how those experiences impacted them. You don't even know what those experiences mean to them. But there's just this impulse for people to just insert themselves, to comment, to judge, and to reshape somebody else's experiences to fit your personal perspective. So it's not even about humor. It's about that conditioning. Because y'all were taught that everything was up for discussion, you don't even recognize the line between observation and violation. And I think it's crazy. So to me, the real question becomes, why is someone else's autonomy a threat to you? Why does their ability to choose for themselves feel like something that you need to challenge? And what is it about freedom, especially freedom that doesn't align with your expectation, that makes you uncomfortable? Because some of you feel very convicted about other people's decisions, and that conviction is not about them. Think about that.
They absolutely hate us. I've been saying that, but let's talk about this since you all think it's funny. Culture, a visual representation of how they see this as doing something to us or taking something from us. Her being labeled as easy. Why would it need to be hard? Why would you want it to be hard? The lining up trope, the nice guys finish last trope, all perfectly summed up in this disgusting meme. Reducing her to a prize, a conquest, instead of a human being with agency. Of course, we can't forget the body count shaming double standard. A woman's worthiness and her value decrease based on the amount of partners that she has, and that is never applicable to a man. Being hyper fixated on a woman's romantic history to find some way to shrug off the bad behavior of the man. Somehow she deserved to be cheated on because she's been in prior relationships with these men. I want to say a lot more about this, but it absolutely disgusts me and just confirms in my mind that a good majority of men just absolutely hate us.
Question, and I need you to answer fast. Where's Taylor Swift's list? Where's her meme? Where's Ariana Grande's meme? Where's Kim Kardashian's meme? No, because I need to know, especially Taylor Swift, because when Travis Kelce ended up getting with her, all I kept hearing was that he upgraded. Right? And before you say it's her money, y'all said that men don't care about money. He already got money, so why would he care about a woman that got money? Again, make sure you answer right, because I'm trying to figure out, this woman has a history of a lot of men in the industry that she's allegedly been with. Where is her meme? Why were men not encouraging him not to marry her? Why no man was saying that Ariana Grande don't deserve for nobody to take her serious? She be taking people men, allegedly. All right, what's Kim Kardashian had a whole sex tape. I didn't see y'all telling Kanye don't wife it. And even if you did, it wasn't nothing like what y'all doing with Meg. At this point, I'm going to have to believe that this is because she's black. And I hate to go that route. Right? I truly hate to go that route, because when the women was going around saying that y'all actually hate black women, I wanted to believe that they was playing or they was lying. But at this point, I can't deny the truth of what I'm seeing. It feels like a lot of y'all self-esteem is so low. You feel so insufficient when it comes to other men that it's like you need somebody else that you feel like that's lower than you that you can bully on. Not to say that I feel like as a black woman I'm lower than you. You think that black women are lower than you, and therefore you want to bully them. Like I said before in another video, when y'all talk about accountability, that's not what you're actually looking for. You're looking for indefinite suffering. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for the women to acknowledge what they did wrong and work to do better. Because when they do that, you still tell them, I don't really care that you try to do better with your life. You still deserve to suffer for the decision that you already made. So indefinite suffering is what you want. You believe the black woman's plight is to suffer, no matter what it is that she did that you don't agree with. So at that point, that's bullying. That's bullying, all right? And I got a real bad problem with the fact that you can make a meme like this for her, but I ain't seen no non-black woman get the same energy when it comes to the men that they done slept around with.
I was recently listening to a creator that I will tag below speaking on the situation with the MEGHAN THEE STALLIon meme, and she said something that really resonated with me. She stated that men primarily view sex as a means of domination, and how to them, being the person penetrated makes you inherently beneath them and inherently subservient. And this got me thinking how men see almost every facet in life in this way. They see it as a bid for conquest. So something as innocuous as a handshake to a man can be a game of who has the upper hand based on grip strength or how long the person holds on to you. Another example is a totally neutral, run-of-the-mill interaction that you may have with your boss at work. That gets interpreted through the lens of a dom-sub dynamic. And I think this is why the podcast bros have been asking women, if you submit to your boss at work, why can't you submit to your man at home? Which to most of us sounds like a completely absurd premise for a question because we don't see our work dynamics through this hierarchical lens. I'll take myself for an example. I have people at work that report to me and people that I report to, but I have never thought of these dynamics as me either dominating my coworkers or submitting to my bosses. Likewise, in relationships, they don't seem to understand that cooperation is an option and that we don't have to have an authority figure between two consenting adults. This type of thinking is also evident in the way they treat the environment that we exist in. Instead of honoring the natural world with our technology and working with it, men dominate, exploit, and conquer the land. So my takeaway from all this is women need to understand that what we may view as a neutral or cooperative interaction or relationship, or even a mutually respectful and pleasurable experience, men interpret as a hierarchical game where they've either succeeded in dominating you or you have bested them in some way, in which case they become bitter, resentful, and jealous. And knowing all of this, we need to proceed accordingly with our interactions with men moving forward.
Okay, let me speak on this really quick because this really irritates me and annoys me. Y'all do not let this woman rest. I want to make it clear that Tory Lanez is in jail because of his actions. But y'all will forever hold Megan's foot to the fire so y'all can give someone the blame for a man's actions. Tory Lanez is in jail because he did something that was against the law. Okay? But to create a meme like this for whatever reason is really lame and shows that you have no time. Nothing going on for you. The second a woman has a visible past, it gets turned into a punchline. But men, their dating history, mind you, a lot of their dating history is coercion, but we won't talk about that. But a men's dating history is like, oh, you know, like, let's congratulate it. Oh, he got holes, blah, 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 this and that. Women have a dating history too. Because if they don't, who are y'all dating? Like, it doesn't make sense. This meme is, it frustrates me. And y'all wonder why women are turned off by men so much. Someone sat there, gathered names, and created a piece of artwork to reduce a woman to who she's been with. That is ridiculous. It's weird, like I said, to begin with. And this is the idea that women are supposed to be pure and untouched while men are allowed to explore. So if women are supposed to be pure and untouched, who exactly are men exploring? Like, this whole idea and double standard never made sense to me. It really didn't. Imagine if someone, because we all have a past, imagine if someone created some form of artwork with every person you've been with, been in a picture with, talked to, spoken to, and they posted it online as some sort of aha to protect someone that they don't even know. Like, what do y'all have against this girl? She has done nothing to you. She is talented, unbothered, like, and y'all could call me parasocial all you want. I really don't care. I don't do this with a lot of celebrities. I just don't like the way y'all pick on this girl. She has done nothing to you all. And what makes me even more disgusted, hold on. Like, no one wins in this actual setup. The women co-signing this childish stuff, y'all are just as bad as men, and we know you guys center men. It's disgusting. I will never respect a woman who laughs at men laughing at women. You look weird. A girl was like, well, Megan must be the problem. Her getting cheated on makes her the problem. You sound weird. I saw a girl I went to high school with comment that, and it's actually disgusting. But I already know that girl's male center. All she does is talk about, I want a man, I need a man, blah, blah, blah. I'm sick of posts like these. People really need to grow up. Megan, girl, we're praying for you, girl. You're going to make it through it.
The reason why Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, Ariana Grande are not getting the meme is because that meme was made by a black man. And those men know not to play with other races of women, because then they will have to deal with the repercussions and consequences from those men of those races. You think that other men of other races are going to let you disrespect their women? They're going to let you disrespect your women, but it's always going to be a reflection of y'all and how petty and how childish and how weak and how immature and how just y'all have too much time on y'all hands. That meme that's being shared of Megan Thee Stallion, any man that I see sharing that as a joke, you could never have a chance with me.
So this meme just proved something to me really quickly. You guys only find this funny because this is a black woman being humiliated. Now switch her out for a white woman like Taylor Swift, and now it's disrespectful, right? So why is one woman always seen as finding love and the other one is illustrated in a lineup? Let's be honest, friends. This isn't about dating. This is about who you guys feel comfortable disrespecting. And somehow that always ends up being a black woman. Why is that?
Excuse me. I think the conversation about Klay Thompson cheating on Meg Thee Stallion connects to a larger pattern within society where men are shielded from having to exhibit or practice any kind of emotional intelligence or self-awareness, where that's not an option for women, not because men are incapable of it or not because women exceed in their skills whenever it comes to compassionate communication and emotional intelligence. These aren't gendered traits. These are just traits that have survived cultural conditioning for millennia. And someone as talented, intelligent, beautiful, self-aware, creative, hardworking, and as loving as Megan Thee Stallion is, no one, unfortunately, can prevent becoming a victim of this system. And Klay Thompson, from my understanding, I don't really know that much, but I'm pretty sure his dad was an athlete too, and he grew up really well-to-do. And I don't know, I can imagine that growing up in a kind of environment where you come from a place of privilege and even social privilege, I can imagine that through those systems of privilege, maybe it's shielded him from having to exhibit some self-awareness and emotional intelligence. I've only seen a couple of videos, but from the way that he's expressing himself, I got the impression that it was a little bit performative. Whereas Meg Thee Stallion has experienced a lot of suffering in her life. She's lost her parents. She's been through violently abusive relationships. And in that, she's channeled her suffering into expression and learned more about herself in that process. And she's built such a following that has such reverence for her vulnerability, her emotional intelligence, her creative ability, and the way that she empowers everyone. I say all this to say because I saw this sexist post about Megan Thee Stallion on Facebook that really pissed me off. And it's just so easy, I think, to try to devalue women for the behavior of men because, I don't know, inability to accept accountability in any kind of way, because that would require metabolization of difficult emotions, and they weren't given those skills or encouraged to practice them. But I digress. And I just say all that to say that if someone cheats on you, no matter how incredible you are, it's never a determination of your value or your worth. It's a determination of their consciousness, their self-awareness, their ability to metabolize discomfort, and their inability to communicate uncomfortable emotions. And there's no such thing as rejection, only redirection. And I think that, I don't know. The universe has a way of organizing itself, I think. And if someone incredible deserves something incredible, then even a setback will appear like it's a setback, but it's not really a setback, because I think, in my opinion, as a Megan stan, she deserves someone equally as incredible, equally as intelligent, equally as self-aware, equally as creative. It's easy to play the blame game, but I think that patriarchy has a lot to do with this. I'm trying not to hate Klay Thompson, because I don't know that it's helpful, but I don't know that it wouldn't be on site if I saw him, allegedly. And I know that incredible people deserve incredible people, and the universe has a way of self-organizing, and that's how I feel.
In a society where women are put down for having a dating history, while men are celebrated for the same thing, it is logical to say that this meme was intended to shame Meghan by drawing attention to the men she has allegedly had intimate past with. Depicting her in such an explicitly wanton position was the creator's way of calling her loose and a lady of the night, both derogatory terms. The question I ask is, where is Klay Thompson's shame? Where is his shame for cheating, for breaking up yet another relationship, for having a dating history, for having exes, and for having a past? I want women all over the world to recognize the tools being used to put women in their supposed place and to reject such tools. When society seeks to shame us using double standards, I hope that as adults, we get to a place where we stand our ground and refuse to bend to cowardly, harsh, and unfair dictates society loves to place on women and women alone. An evergreen quote from Malcolm X highlights the plight of Black women. In his famous speech titled "Who Taught You to Hate Yourself?", Malcolm X said, "The most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman." I will add that the unequal and unfair treatment of Black women isn't just an American issue. It is worldwide. It is high time Black women begin to look out for each other. More importantly, it is vital for women in general to watch out for each other.